Here's why your tendons keep breaking down. Every time you start to make good progress in the gym or your athletic endeavors, do you start to get tendon pain? After 20 years of helping people with their injuries, I can tell you that you're absolutely not alone. But in today's video, I'm going to show you why this keeps happening and how to get it sorted. Here's what most people miss with tendons. When you're trying to get stronger, faster, or build muscle, you need to account for the tendons the most, because tendons save energy, they improve explosive power, and they control movement. But they don't heal fast. I'm sure you would have noticed that tendons are white and muscles are red. Quite simply, the tendons are white because they don't have as much blood supply. The reason they don't have a good blood supply is because you want them to be as stiff and dense as possible. Now you might think to yourself, I don't want my tendons to be stiff. Don't I want them to be flexible? The answer is you definitely want them to be stiff. Or another way to put it is you want the tendons to be more responsive. This is because to build athleticism, you want your body to have amazing ground reaction forces. And this means you want to spend as little time on the ground as possible, creating the maximum force. The only way you can do that is by having stiffness in the tendons so that there's no lag when you're trying to produce force. But what most people miss when they're trying to make athletic or aesthetic gains is that you must give the tendons more time to repair. Let me explain it with this graph. When you add a strenuous training stimulus, your body has protein synthesis, so a stimulus to grow, and it also has some degradation happening at the same time. But here is the key. In the first 36 hours, there's more degradation than synthesis, or more breakdown of collagen than building. And it's not until the 36 to 72 hour mark that the tendons go into the green and have more synthesis than degradation, or more building than breaking down. But if you look at most people's programs, they absolutely do not account for this, especially when people are starting out and getting back into things. When you're early getting back into things, you really want to be closer to this figure of 72 hours. So if you want to avoid tendon issues before they happen, then get your timing right with heavy loads to the tendons. But what do you do when you're already injured? Well, let me get you sorted. A few more things you need to know about tendons. They respond best to tensile forces rather than compressive forces. So depending on the tendon you have injured and the area of the tendon, you need to take this into account. Take the Achilles, for instance. If your injury is in the mid-Achilles region, it's easier to load this because it likes tensile forces. But if your injury is at the site of attachment of the heel, then you need to take this into account with your loading, as it won't like being taken into compression, where you might say, take it off the edge of a step, because there'll be a tensile and compressive force around the heel bone. Now, the research says the tendons appear to respond best to slow, heavy loads when trying to get them to heal. So let's take you through some progressions and what reps and sets to do. And let's stick with an Achilles injury as the example. So here is my education to you. Grab a metronome and set it to 60 beats per minute. We want to load both the soleus and gastroc. So we want to do both bent knee and straight leg heel raises. Start with double leg heel raises, and in terms of speed, I want you to go up to 2 beats and come down to 3. In terms of how heavy to start, let pain be your guide. We don't want more than 5 out of 10 in terms of pain. How strong do you need to get? Let's put it this way. When you're running, your soleus takes 6 to 9 times your body weight in terms of force. Now, you're never going to hit these numbers in a gym. But here's a guide. You want to get to the point where you can perform 3 times 6 to 8 reps of 1.5 times your body weight, single leg for both the soleus and gastroc. Don't be disheartened if you're way off these numbers. The vast majority of people I have rehabbed couldn't even do double leg at half their body weight. My education would be work double leg until you get to body weight, then drop the weight back down and shift to single leg. If you have a mid-Achilles issue, you can progress loading further by going off the edge of a step. If you have an insertional injury, stick with the ground. The good thing about striving for these high numbers in the gym is that it will take you around 6 to 12 months to hit these numbers. And that's exactly what you need to prepare yourself for in terms of the length of time for the tendon to actually heal. If you have any questions or want me to cover any other injuries, or you have any performance questions, let me know in the comments. I'm going to put out a video each week covering different injuries, so like and subscribe if you want to follow along.